Walter C. and Toby Stevens welcomed a baby boy, Walter Chandler Chan Stevens, in June 1933. This fair-haired boy grew up in Mansfield with his brother Hutch. He attended Mansfield City Schools through 8th grade and completed his high school years at Western Reserve Academy in Hudson, Ohio. He pursued engineering and business degrees from MIT. There he was involved in student politics and was elected class president. In Mansfield during the 1950s, a plan was underway, spearheaded by a small group of involved citizens, to address the issue that was brought about by polio, cerebral palsy, and other crippling diseases. The debilitating results of these illnesses in children and adults, paralysis, brain damage, and others, could not be managed locally. Those affected had to be driven to treatment centers in Elyria and Toledo for therapy. Members of the Mansfield Rotary Club offered their time and transportation so those needing treatment could receive it. Walter Stevens, Chan's father, a Rotarian, was a driver taking children for therapy. When he wasn't available, 16-year-old Chan was pressed into service, driving his '49 Ford convertible carrying parents and kids to Elyria. What a sight that must have been. The die was cast for Chan back then, early in his life. This was the beginning of a career of service to the community. Summers, when Chan was home from school, following the pattern his father set, he made trips to the treatment centers to assist in the fight against the effects of polio, making a difference in the lives of many children and their worried parents. In 1954, the Richland County Society for Crippled Children was founded, the work of Dr. William Mead, Betty Ingram, and Dr. Schaefer, among others, and opened offices on West 3rd Street. Chan completed grad school at MIT, then received a Rotary Scholarship for additional education in Birmingham, England. When he returned home in the 60s, Chan worked in the family business, the business his father founded, Stevens Manufacturing. The Crippled Children's Society grew and expanded services during the years from 1954 to the 60s. By then, adults were also receiving therapy. The name changed to the Richland County Treatment Center. The occupational therapist working in the center, Karen Moody, recognized that the handicapped clients who received therapy as children were growing up and their long-term needs were not being met. There were no options after high school for the older clients to continue to work. Chan's father suggested that a presentation be made to the Manufacturers Council about the problem. Chan and Karen Moody presented the idea of establishing a sheltered workshop whereby the older clients could be trained in assembly, sorting, and other industrial jobs with the goal of rehabilitation, leading to their future long-term employment. And so it was in 1964. Progress Industries, a sheltered workshop, opened its doors in rented space in the Schmidt Hardware store on North Bowman Street. Initial contracts from local companies for work for the clients came from Stevens Manufacturing, Thermodisc, and Mansfield Plating. The machinery necessary to perform the work was loaned to Progress Industries by local companies. Through Chan's personal connections with business, the number of industrial contracts grew. And in 1964, Chan was elected president of the Combined Agency Board. Eventually, Progress Industries moved to Distal Avenue for more space. Chan relates the story of the agency name change in 1971. One funding agency from an adjacent county advised to remove Richland County from the title. The Rehabilitation Service of North Central Ohio was adopted, and the agency received a grant of $2,000 from Ashland United Appeal. The name also defined its true mission, an organization for those with all disabilities. The Rehab Board voted to relocate to the Sturkle Farm on Lexington Avenue if the money could be raised. Chan, a former trustee of the agency, was tapped to head the building fund campaign to raise $1.5 million so a facility could be built. And in 1974, a move to 270 Sturkle Boulevard was made. Many years later, Chan was asked again to be a member of the Dream Team for a capital campaign for the aging buildings. Of course, he agreed to help. Over $3 million was raised, making the repairs and renovations possible. Today, after the integration of the center and the rehab center, Chan is an active member of the board of Catalyst Life Services. He spends most of his summers in Put-in-Bay, where he runs a golf cart business. He comes to town for board meetings and still teaches the Power Squadron, and volunteers for committees such as the Rehab Telethon. He remains active on other community boards such as the Mansfield Area Y and the Richland County Foundation. He and wife Boo work together on projects Both hail from backgrounds where service to the community is important. They learned well. You do the math. He shows no signs of slowing down. 1933, 2017. Chan, tonight is your night. We commend you for your contributions to the community these many years. We honor and we thank you, Chan Stevens.